Griffin?
If Louis the only man traveling, if not, how many men will we need?
I believe I answered this question earlier, but it is an important one. No, Lewis will not be the only man traveling. He will be in charge of the group. We found out having about 10 men, but we are not sure how many men we will actually have. But we do know that the group will be small so that we don't frighten the Indians. Did you have another question, sir?
Yes, thank you. Will you give money to the families of the explorers if they die or get lost?
Oh, no, we are not planning to give money to the families of the explorers if they die or get lost. We will be looking for unmarried men without families, which means no wife and children. This way, if they are lost or they die, we do not have to pay the families, and their families will not miss them. Ella.
What is Congress approved?
I feel confident that Congress will approve. I have secretly sent a letter to Congress asking for the money. It was done in secret so that France, Spain, and England don't get upset with us for traveling in their territory. It is also important to note that I have promised my fellow Americans that we would limit our government spending to help slow down our increasing government debt. Lewis and I have carefully calculated the cost of this trip and came up with a low cost of $2,500. We figure this cost is low enough so that Congress will not be alarmed. You know how the government works with its checks and balances. I almost had to trick Congress a bit to get this money. Well, hopefully get this money. I feel the low cost of the trip will make it hard to deny us of this exploration. I also believe that Congress will take the idea that this will promote trade. Yes, Ella, did you have another question?
What will you do if the trip ends up costing?
If the trip ends up costing more. Shh. Don't tell anybody. But I feel quite confident in the end it is going to cost much more than the $2,500. But shh, don't tell anyone. Yes, Bryce.
What if you can't get the supplies?
Oh, well, the availability of getting the supplies before the trip is certainly not a problem. It's if and when we run out of supplies while on the trip. If the men make it successfully to Fort Mandan, which is up in this area up here, they will be able to repair the equipment, hunt, and dry the meat for future travel. The supplies will be more limited, but the men can prepare for the uncharted part of the journey. Did you have another question, Bryce?
Yes, I did. What if this expedition leads to war?
Yeah, what if this expedition leads to war? Well, we will specifically not, or tell the men not to engage in any war tactics with the natives. Do not provoke the Indians into fighting. Back down if they act violently. We do not want to provoke war with the Native Americans. We want to become on friendly terms with them so we can trade with them. We do not want war with the Indians, like I just said. That our goal is to make peace with them and to encourage them to trade with us, with hope that they will no longer trade with the British or the French. Now, I'm sure you remember that the Louisiana Territory switched hands several times. It was owned by the French, then the Spanish, and now back to the French here. We had an agreement with Spain that we could travel up and down the Mississippi River and use the port of New Orleans down here without paying any taxes. But then, years ago, in 1800, when Napoleon Bonaparte basically forced Spain to hand the territory back over to them, started to panic a little bit here. So we're worried about paying taxes and having little problems here, but we're planning on asking Bonaparte if we could buy some of the land instead of going to war. We want to do this peacefully. We don't go to war. So hopefully that answered your question there. Yes, okay. refugee.
What if your big dream fails and you try to expand our nation?
I don't think my plan of expanding our nation will fail. I believe, though, that it will be a very slow process. Up until the widening of the Cumberland Gap, right through here, most people live within only 50 miles of the coast, Atlantic coast. Now we have hundreds of thousands of people living west of the Appalachian Mountains. West, hundreds of thousands of people living west now. And many more will continue to move west. If our expedition is successful and our men find land and travel routes for more settlers to move west, it will expand. But it will take time.
Mr. President, Mr. President! Why do you want the expedition to happen on January 18th? Why not February 12th?
Well, I think you're a little confused on the date, but that's okay. I'm only giving you this information about the possibility of an expedition today on January 18th, 1803. But I am hoping that Congress will approve this and we can begin the expedition next spring of 1804. That is my hope. Yes, sir. Sam?
How do you know England, Spain, and France have their hands in getting the Mississippi?
Well, they don't all have their hands in the Mississippi River area. It's the land west of the Mississippi River. France at this time owns the Louisiana Territory, and as you know, we're hoping that we can at least find some of that land, which includes the Mississippi River system and the Port of New Orleans. They basically control the trade in those areas. We are hoping to purchase New Orleans, though, and Congress has given James Monroe the authority to spend $9 million to purchase the city from France. I know they are desperate for money. As I said before, they spend a lot of money financing the slave revolt in Haiti. Anyway, so Spain, though, owns the land west of the Louisiana Territory, and Britain has fur trading posts up in the areas of the Northwest. Was that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any other questions, sir?
How does Lewis find the Northwest Passage without a map?
Ooh, good question. Well, we're not exactly sure here. The Northwest Passage, well, we have already had information regarding the first leg of the trip, which will take us up to about the Fort Mandan area. And we have that information from fur traders who have been going up and down the river for many years. It's the land and the natives that are beyond Fort Mandan that we really don't have a whole lot of information about. So it is going to be very challenging without a map. But at least the first leg of the trip, we have a map. Yes. Aubrey.
Are the three you mentioned the only benefits of the trip?
Well, we haven't purchased anything just yet, but there are three main benefits. I believe the second benefit to secure trading rights along the Mississippi River is very important for our American settlers. It will allow them to trade goods without having to pay export taxes at New Orleans. You have another question?
Yes. How are you going to secure trading rights along the Mississippi River?
Well, I kind of just stated that if we can secure the trading rights, possibly by buying the Port of New Orleans down here, then we will be able to, if we own this, then we will be able to secure the trading rights, and we won't have to pay the taxes, which would be very beneficial. Yes, Tyler.
How far west?
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, it is possible to claim the land from coast to coast. But it will take a lot of diplomacy, working with governments and natives, to complete such a task, and it may not happen in my lifetime. I see great things for our nation, but it will take time. It is not something that can happen quickly. France, Spain, England, and even Russia have land and interest in the Western lands. Well, it could be approximately another 45 years or so before we can own all the land all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Not in my lifetime, but that's something that I kind of foresee could happen. This is America. We own basically this. France owns this, Spain's own this. America and the British kind of own this, mostly because of fur trading. But America is like a potato chip. And this is the potato chip on a beach. And when you have a potato chip on the beach, you have seagulls all hovering to try and get that potato chip. Well, it is the Spanish, the French, the Americans, the British, and even the Russian fur trappers coming down here. We are all like the seagulls trying to get this potato chip. The United States, though, thinks that we should own this potato chip because it is part of our North American lands here. So we will push westward, my friends, so we can own the entire potato chip. The end of my press conference.